We gotta adapt to the bullshit that I go through between the hours of 11 and 4 or 12 and 4, where they fuck up my fucking channel and kick me out my channel and kick me out of my YouTube and freeze my comments where I can't motherfucker see your comments and they freeze my chat and they delete y'all comments. They put symbols next to y'all comments. They motherfucking change the wording and show me on my end another word. And or y'all in, I know y'all type something else. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck? There's so much shit I go through on this motherfucking platform. And they just got rid of my fan page. But I was over there getting naughty. Shouts out to Vonta. Anyway. Time to stack some donuts, shorty. But real shit. We need to get to it because I was supposed to play this news earlier. So we're gonna start off with this one. Or should I start off with that one? You know what? We're gonna start off with this one.
Any idea how the American people? I have an idea, but I'd like to hear if you have an idea. How can the American people get control of their CIA and their NSA, their intelligence agency?
Kill them all, kill them all, kill them all, blow up some buildings, blow up some bridges, blow up every power structure known to man in this country.
God damn.
That's how we destroy the CIA, the FBI, and the government.
Allegedly.
You don't have no choice but to break out martial law.
Agencies. We already know that the FBI.
I forgot I said all that shit.
They're trying to convince us that white supremacists are our biggest threat, meaning your neighbor, and they're doing all the terrorism. We know now that the Oklahoma City bombing was an inside job by the FBI. So same thing with the January 6th, and they tried to kidnap Whitmer, the governor of, and we all know that was also an FBI plot. So all these support.
Yep, I covered that Governor Whitmer FBI kidnapping plot. That shit happened up here in Michigan.
Terrorism things that they're thwarting. They're actually the ones who are, but they're at war with our own people, just like the CIA, just like with these ticks. Do you have any idea how did the people get control of the CIA? And I guess even bigger would be their own government, because we do not live in a democracy. We live in an oligarchy, which was proven by a Princeton study over 10 years ago now. But go ahead, take it where you want.
Well, look, I wish I had an easy answer for it. So, yeah, let's
we
need to dismantle the CIA. Yeah, we need. It needs to be.
Yeah.
It needs to be burnt to the ground.
Yeah, we need to kill them and burn it to the ground. Allegedly. In that order.
Allegedly.
Start over.
Allegedly.
Because it's become.
And don't start over.
Allegedly.
Fuck starting over.
That's
we
right.
Need to kill all these motherfuckers and dismantle them forever to the point where the CIA is not even ever remembered. We need to kill these evil fucks.
Allegedly.
FBI, CIA, NSA,
allegedly.
ATF,
allegedly.
DOJ.
Allegedly.
All these motherfuckers.
Allegedly.
Much involved with operations overseas. They have nothing to do with collecting intelligence about the intentions of foreign governments. It's more that we become the actor in areas like this, in creating biological weapons, and creating chemical weapons, and destabilizing governments, and creating social upheaval. But, frankly, this is why a lot of people voted for Donald Trump. Yeah. They thought he would actually make a difference. And instead, he's become co-opted. He's become worse than Joe Biden now in enabling wars and refusing to hold account these agencies.
Nah, y'all voted for motherfucking Trump because y'all knew that he was going to fuck with the people that has been fucked over on this fucking land since the colonizers came over here on this fucking land. Simple as that. They just keep it a buck. Keep it out.
To account. It talks a good game, but they don't deliver. And then what happens out of that, people become disillusioned and they walk away. It is true. We need to have an accountable government. People like Thomas Massey have tried to emphasize that, and look at the millions of dollars that are being poured against him because he has the audacity to call out this kind of manipulation. So it is ultimately the legislatures they've got to be held to account. But the problem is there's so much money then it makes it difficult for principled people to survive.
So I've made the case here for a while that there's no way to vote our way out of this because, the people who...
There's no way to vote our way out of this. Wow. Y'all saying there's so many fucking words and y'all dance around the word revolution. That's the shit that pisses me off. Somebody really need to fucking say it. We need a fucking revolution. We need to kill these evil motherfuckers. One of y'all motherfuckers going to lose y'all platform when y'all say it. But me, I lost my platform, got it back, and I've been shadow banned ever since. All 3 of my YouTube channels. 2 of my Instagram channels. I'm on my fucking 6th Facebook page. I lost my 6th TikTok. Just lost my X account last year. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck?
Would you like to know more?
The moral people and the good people, and they vote Democrat. I have to remind them that the Democrats haven't had a primary for the last 3 election cycles, right? So in 2016, it was undeniable that they rigged against a guy who was supposed to be speaking up for the working man, Bernie Sanders. So they rigged it against him once. They rigged it against him in 2020. And then in 2024, they didn't even bother to have a primary. And they just installed a puppet who couldn't get a vote when she ran for president herself in 2020.
Right.
And so my point is that you cannot, they don't even allow you the choice. There is no choice. The choice is always between a shit bowl and a shit sandwich. That's and it's a CIA puppet, a military industrial puppet. It's the same. They're the same people. They serve the same owners. So there's really no. They're not going to. I think it was Mark Twain, or maybe it was some. He said if voting mattered, they'd make it illegal. And so it's very clear to me that voting doesn't matter. And even somebody like one congressman in Kentucky, when he speaks up, they come down with the force of the mighty on him, right? And so what needs to happen is it's got to get so painful for Americans, which is probably going to happen because of this war with the food prices, the gas prices.
It already happened. The thing about it is most of you motherfucking niggas are scared to fight. And let's talk to the black people first. Black people, y'all scared to fight because y'all want to smoke, drink, fuck around, and wait on fucking Jesus.
Not all of y'all.
And y'all afraid to die.
Not all
what
of
you
y'all
believe in, but you're not afraid to kill me for stepping on your toes when it comes to the dope game or the weed game.
And that's most of y'all.
Oh yeah, you ain't scared to kill me or people that look like me.
Speaking true.
It's designed for us to kill each other. Designed for us to motherfucking keep being confused and being divided. That's why I can't be a racist, because there's more white people that want to fight in this revolution with me, literally want to fight and kill with me, than my own people. So can't be racist. Like if I say, let's start a Baker's Rebellion. If y'all don't know what Baker's Rebellion is, go look it the fuck up. Poor blacks, poor whites came together and fought the government. Look what happened. Look what happened after that. Look how shit was created.
Could go to $9-10 a gallon. That they actually rise up the workers. So like during the Biden administration, the railroad workers who are treated horribly, they were about to go on strike, which is the backbone of capitalism in the United States. And if they did, it would shut down capitalism. So Biden knew that, and he doesn't work for the workers or the people. So he and the Democrats came in and made it illegal for them to go on strike. Now, if they would have put the union leaders in prison, but they have to be willing to go to prison. So if the railroad workers or the pork workers,
you got to be willing to go to prison, or you got to be willing to die stepping up against this government. This is why I say, dog, like, they don't mind killing you by force or through the food, through the water, through the air, through disease, but you can't fight back. Nigga, that's some bullshit. Kill these
Salute in the groove. What up,
drivers, or the Amazon fulfillment, or the grocery worker, if they all went on strike, if just one of those groups went on strike, just not to show up to work for a week, and if two of them did, or if all of them did, that's how you bring the country to its knees, and then they can start. But you have to have a demand. And the problem with these No Kings marches is that is obviously there to funnel the revolutionary energy of the people back into a two-party system that is their enemy, because there was no demand from those No Kings. And so that's how you know it's a psyop. When you have a giant protest that does not have a demand, that is a psyop. And so what we need is to have workers to rise up, don't go to work for a week, and bring the country to its knees, and then have demands. And the demands would be publicly funded elections, which would solve all these problems. Publicly funded election. That's my solution. What do you think of it? And do you have any
publicly funded elections? See, This where Jimmy. This is where Jimmy lose. You already know there is no political solution. The only solution is revolution. But that's his solution. Public elections for the people.
Yeah, I think my second phone lost its data. I can't type in a chat.
Hope. Like, nigga, y'all took this country.
Yeah, the shit wild.
Talk about some dream. Nigga, we dreamed of not being motherfucking invaded, murdered, raped, and pillaged.
Fuck the limited data shit.
By the ancestors of the man that is talking right now. Talking about we need a political solution. Man, just tell the truth, man. Nigga, y'all don't want the same shit that happened to y'all that y'all put us through, or put our ancestors through, or what y'all putting us through now. Nigga, let's just keep it 1,000. But let's hear the old guy solution.
Ideas.
I think this is where I look to Russia. You know, how do you go from a communist system to what is a new capitalist system?
And dude said he looked to Russia for a solution. And it's crazy that a motherfucker looked to Russia for the solution, because ain't Russia the enemy? That's the crazy shit. But they got the solution. Yeah. This shit is fucking crazy. But the Russia solution.
Fighting. And they went through a collapse. What the Russian people experienced in that decade, 1991 through, let's say 2000, the life expectancy of men went down to like 6-7 years. Number of suicides went up. Alcoholism soared. The society was devastated.
Those are gone.
Professionals who had secure jobs, they were suddenly without. But out of that hell, and it was a literal hell for the Russian people in 1991 through 1999, when Putin came into office and focused upon restoring the country and getting the priorities straight. And part of it also involved, it was a religious revival, that the Eastern Orthodox faith of the Russian people, which goes back 1,000 years, that was reignited. And yet the interesting thing within it, it didn't bring hatred and division towards other religions. In fact, they wound up having more cohesion with like the Muslims within the country. So that's why I look to Russia as a model of how you come out of this, if you will, this totalitarian society, and then you create a society that is open, clean. The economy is amazing. The streets are clean. The cities are pristine. So there's hope. But I think we're going to have to pass through a very dark time in this country for that to happen. And I think your instincts on that are exactly right.
We got to pass through a dark time. Yeah, go through a revolution.
Yeah, you're right. They don't talk about Iceland, and they don't talk about Botswana. They had a peaceful revolution. I'm talking about, as much as I want to motherfucker see bloodshed, I have to give my flowers to Botswana. Look them up and look up their revolution. Look up the Botswana revolution and look at what they did, because it was so great. I had to motherfucking make a motherfucker live about it. And there's a cat that come in my chat. His name is Paul, but he's under another like name in the chat names. But he from Botswana and shit. So like when my second phone was working, after Vonta asked like where you from, and he said Botswana, like the first thing I do was like, let me look up Botswana Revolution. So like I looked up Botswana Revolution and I read that shit, and I kept the music going. Like after the music went off, like I already read what I needed to read. I read what I needed to read. I was like, hey yo, man, Botswana pretty fucking cool. Yeah. It blew my mind how they did the motherfucking peaceful revolution. It's like, yo. But at the same time, I need to do more research on the back end. Is everything really good, or is good because you have to bend over to some shit? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, their whole presence, their energy, and the people's culture is like, yo, this is peaceful. It's gonna be a peaceful shit. You know what I'm saying? So I fucks with that. I fucks with that a lot. As much as I want to see bloodshed for the evil motherfuckers that's taking over the goddamn world, these motherfuckers actually pulled off peace. You know? So yeah. And shout out to Iceland too, for sure.
Revolution. Y'all keep on talking about a dark time, but like a revolution is gonna be a dark time for y'all evil motherfuckers. It's gonna be a glorious time for us when we take our land back. There's gonna be a lot of screams, cries, and a lot of blood in the street. But y'all motherfuckers should have knew this shit was coming. Y'all kept on fucking us over on this land. And y'all expect nothing like to happen to y'all evil motherfuckers? Nigga, fuck that. Viva la revolution. The only solution is revolution. Destroy your government now.
Of course, if that ever happened, immediately the FBI, which has already infiltrated every union, and don't think they haven't, that the establishment doesn't have, their whole thing is divide and conquer, which is why I keep telling people your enemy is not your neighbor. It's not the white supremacist next door. That is a scam to get you to not join with your neighbor against the WEF globalists and your own government and the oligarchy. Because if we figured out that you have more in common with your neighbor than divides us, and we did come together, it's game over for them. And so that's why they keep, and it works perfectly. You know, the people who are now saying, oh, the idiots who voted for Donald Trump, and look what you got. How did you not know this guy was a con man and a scammer? Well, because there was no choice. Those are the people who voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who not only forced experimental medical treatments on workers, or they couldn't go to work to feed their family or go to college or travel. That's Nazi stuff. They did that. They crushed a railroad strike workers. They started a proxy war with the nuclear power, and then they were funding a genocide in front of everyone's eyes. So anybody who says that stuff about you're an idiot for voting, and they voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, I have a message for them. You are the moral superior of absolutely fucking nobody. Yeah. You voted for evil and Satan, and to fucking point your finger because Donald Trump turned out to be the biggest con job since Nigerian princes learned how to email. That doesn't make you, again, that's divide and conquer. And those people who are doing that are falling right into the trap of the globalists and the oligarchy, and they're such tools of idiocy as they try to look down their nose at half the country like somehow they're superior. You are the moral superior of no one. You are a pawn in a global system, and you're an enemy of yourself. All right, I'll stop it there. I get a little worked up.
Yeah.
I get a little worked up. Oh, yes, you did get worked up, Jimmy. But you still should have been like, man, fuck all this shit, kill them all. Yeah, you get worked up. Get worked up, Jimmy. Get worked up, though. What you should have said is, we need to kill these evil motherfuckers. I'm about to throw Jimmy Dore in that book, The Adventures of Ron Paul. Yeah, Jimmy Dore going to be a true killer. I gotta draw Ron Paul, Candace Owens, and Bernie Sanders. Nah, we got Jimmy Dore on the list. This shit about to be hilarious.
Yeah.
We about to go eliminate Dr. Fauci.
Yeah. I'm working on a comic book called The Adventures of Ron Paul. Yeah, it's gonna be a fucking smash hit. Ron Paul, like y'all remember Ron Paul was grilling Dr. Fauci at those hearings, right? And nothing came from it. But Ron Paul has always been putting out tweets, and then like his last couple tweets, he was like, look, on May 10th, some shit is going to go through where we won't be able to get Dr. Fauci. So we need to motherfucker try to get this man arrested for crimes against humanity and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and plus I also did a story on the HHN about the people that was trying to get Fauci and I think Bill Gates and some other motherfuckers over there in France on crimes against humanity, and motherfuckers was coming up dead. So when I made the comic book, you know, Ron Paul is gonna be motherfucking, you know, going after Fauci, fighting off motherfuckers that been trying to kill him for the longest and shit. I'm throwing Candace Owens in that bitch as a femme fatale. Bernie Sanders gonna pull up in the wheelchair with the motherfucking AR-15, like, and you like he can get up and walk, but like sometimes he needs the wheelchair. Sometimes he needs the wheelchair, you know. But then I'm gonna throw Jimmy Dore in that bitch. He gonna be a motherfucking John Wick. I'm gonna make that nigga like a John Wick type of character. But Ron Paul is gonna be like a Rambo. He don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to murk Dr. Fauci. But Dr. Fauci gonna be like a dog ass bad guy with an island flooded with fucking guards and robot tech and shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know I gotta throw my motherfucking self in it. Dr. Fuckboy. Right, yeah, you know I gotta throw and I gotta throw myself in it. Now, I'm not playing a major role. I'm an arms dealer, hood nigga, drug dealer. You feel me? Ron Paul comes to the hood, he's like, yo, dog, I need some weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude come to the hood and shit and get love though. You know what I'm saying? He get love from the hood. He gonna get love from the hood. But like, yeah, man, they like, thank you for going after Dr. Fauci. I know ain't nothing come down after it, man. But like, thanks for motherfucker at least stepping up to try to grill that nigga. Yeah, dog, nigga, we respect you, Ron Paul. Vote Ron Paul for president, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know, shit like that. But then motherfucker come to me and shit, and I be like, Ron Paul, shouts out to you what you was doing with Dr. Fauci and shit. I'm mad that ain't nothing come out of it. But it seemed that you're here for a reason. I don't know how I'm gonna write the dialogue for myself, but all I gotta do is just be myself. So I'm gonna just add, I'm gonna just be myself like if I ever met Ron Paul and I sold him some guns. But Ron Paul needs some guns. He gonna do his thing. He gonna travel. He gonna get fucked up. He gonna get saved by Candace Owens. Candace Owens and Bernie Sanders go motherfucking work with him, and they go motherfucking click up with Jimmy Dore, and they go motherfucking raid Dr. Fauci's compound. You know what I'm saying? And then it's gonna be a self-destruct sequence and shit, and I'm gonna pull up in the chopper. Be like, I heard y'all motherfuckers needed evac. You know what I'm saying? Give me two scenes. I'm selling guns and I'm pulling up to save the day. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the first movie. Part two, because after part one, it's going to be like an end credit scene. They're like, all right, so what's after this? We going after Bill Gates. And I'm going to be like, yo, dog, I'm on that. And then that's when I come here and start shooting motherfuckers like I'm John Wick mixed with Equalizer. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get back to it. Tell me that's not a good ass comic book.
As a resident in the United States, when we get when you get outside of Washington and you get into communities, there are still people that, regardless of their political views, they want the right thing for their families. They want the right thing for their communities. And I think that there's a number of challenges that are coming up that I think are going to inadvertently ignite, if you will, this popular revolt. You saw what's going to happen to the folks out in Nevada, where they've been informed that hey, you got to find your own electric company now because all the power is going to be going to this data center, right? Now that whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Communist, that affects everybody, and it's those kinds of events that I think are going to kick off a reaction. That kind of reaction that starts spreading, where the government has been so out of touch with the needs of the average American, and then instead of creating a society that where there is some opportunity for advancement, instead it's becoming increasingly segregated. So if you know the right people, if you're born into the right families, you got a leg up. Otherwise, you're the road to escape.
Right, you said born into the right family. That means if you ain't down with the bloodline, it's a wrap for you. What he just said in so many words, if you ain't rich, wealthy, or down with a bloodline, you're fucked. But I tell you this, there is more of us than it is of them. We just don't have all the artillery. But like we gotta ask we gotta ask ourselves this question because we know a real motherfucker, if our backs push against the wall, we coming out swinging and shooting. This is for the military. That's right now under the orders of Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth. What are you going to fucking do? I'm talking to the military that's in the field right now or about to be deployed. The motherfuckers that are enlisted. I'm talking to y'all right now. What are y'all going to do when the military, when your superiors tell you to kill us? What you going to do? Are you going to have a heart? Or are you going to be down with the fucking slogan? You're taking out terrorists, foreign and domestic. But they calling us terrorists for disagreeing with executive orders. And they're calling us terrorists for disagreeing with data centers. We have not done anything, nothing, to be labeled a domestic terrorist. But just because we disagree, we are labeled a domestic terrorist. Now, I think for those that are not violent, that those are pacifists or whatever, I think y'all should do what Insane Clown Posse did. Insane Clown Posse tried to sue the FBI because the FBI put Insane Clown Posse on a most wanted list because when they came out, a group called Juggalos came out, and they was doing some wild shit, but ICP was put on the most wanted list, and their defense was like, look, we just make music, we ain't out here doing what the fuck they're doing, we ain't tell them to do this shit, but y'all should put us on the most wanted list for some shit that someone else is doing. But I think the only reason why they put them on the most wanted list is because if your music can start a movement, it can disrupt the fucking government and the whole nature of things. This is the scary part. If my motherfucking music radiates to enough people, it's over. The revolution might begin. Especially if they love Tupac and they love his prophecy and they follow that shit to a motherfucking highest of fucking degree. And if y'all don't know Tupac's prophecy was this. He said, y'all kill me, y'all don't want to see the next guy because the next guy's going to show no remorse. That's me. But I say humbly that I am one of many. I'm not the only one that rap like this. I'm not the only one that talk like this. There's people that are my age, younger, and older that has the revolution in their mind, body, and spirit because it's not a trend, it's a lifestyle. You feel me? So I say that humbly. But motherfucker, let's just say, get noticed. And they try to compare me to Pac on certain songs. I'm gonna be like, look, I appreciate the gesture. Thank you for comparing me to Pac. But I'm just the prophecy of them. Long live the resistance. Shouts out. I know they really don't send out notifications like that, but you probably got a notification in the groove. I know they got that door to Detroit After Dark, But where we at? Oh yeah, forgot we still here.
It becomes more difficult.
Wow.
Larry Johnson, my friend, I really appreciate your time as always. I appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate your time as always. Okay, cool. We about to go right. What was this?
Necromancy refers
Nope. I think I already did that. I think I did that on another live. Um, what was it? It had to been this one. Yep.
Aims through manipulation, through deception, and through propaganda. That's what psychological operations are. It's like a coordinated attack against your mind. And you are the targeted audience. And there is no greater psychological operators out there than those who are involved in government and in politics. As a matter of fact, politics is one of the greatest psychological operations because it gets us to let go of our own responsibility and put it in the hands of somebody that we claim is going to represent us, who's going to make America more free, is going to free up resources so that we can spend our money and our money's going to actually have value. It's all a lie. And that's why I say continually that politics is the clever and deceptive art of using euphemisms, lies, emotionalism, and fear mongering in order to dupe average people into accepting and even demanding the chains of their own enslavement. Because psychological operators are psychopaths. They want to control you. Rather than fire a bullet, which they don't mind doing, they'd rather control your mind so that those bullets won't be fired. It's kind of like a mental bullet aimed directly at your brain so that your emotions and your behaviors will be affected. That's why it's not good enough for you to accept the chains of your own enslavement. They want you to demand it. And there are layers to this psychological operation. Guys, I get it. I understand why people have hope in Lauren Boebert or a Marjorie Taylor Greene or a Thomas Massey or Ron Paul. But they want you to come back continually, come back to the hamster wheel of politics, which...
Yeah. And he's right. And I know I said I was going to make the Avengers of Ron Paul, but he is right. Ron Paul, even though he's going against Dr. Fauci, he's still part of the paradigm that's luring people back to the fucking government. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, but the Ron Paul shit is gonna make me so much motherfucking money. I'm doing it for one, for political satire, and two, this shit is gonna be fucking lit. And if I was to sell it, I would love to sell it to the people that made the Boondocks. I would sell it to Ellen Magruder. Aaron Magruder, like, nigga, do this in the art style of the fucking Boondocks, bro. And add your little flavor to it if you want to. But this is the script. This is my shit. And you can add whatever you want, take away whatever you want. But, yo, only you can pull this shit off. Only you can pull this shit off. If I was to sell what I'm trying to motherfucker do. You know, and I'm also writing a script for another movie, too. I'm writing a script for motherfucking Doctor Who, The Valley Yard, and shouts out to Devonta. I'm trying to write a pilot for Star Trek. But after what I covered when it comes to Star Trek, they're not gonna let that shit go through. If I was to make it like a fucking short, the shit can only be 15-minute shorts, and they won't let me do anything on Star Trek when it comes to the big leagues. You know, I would get sued out my ass. Pause. But yeah, but at the same time, ain't nothing wrong with pitching. You know, pitching a fucking story, pitching a script. But if you got to get it to the right people, because it ain't what you know, it's who you know. And if the motherfucker, you know, ain't motivated to motherfucking get back in the film or TV shows, then you know shit might be crazy. But the Adventures of Ron Paul can only be a 6-episode season. You feel me? You don't have to be 12 episodes, 10 episodes. No, nigga, make 6 episodes of a motherfucker going after Dr. Fauci. Nigga, that's it. This shit gonna be a classic. It's gonna be a cult fucking classic. Nigga, Ron Paul, Candace Owens, Bernie Sanders in a wheelchair, and motherfucking Jimmy Dore. And me as the arms dealer, drug dealer, true killer, bona fide heavy hitter. You know. But anyway, let's go.
Moralizes you. It does something to your psychological makeup where you're basically sitting there saying, hey, I don't mind voting for the chains of my own oppression. I don't mind voting for the lesser of two evils. When you vote for something, you are supporting something.
And then there's justification after that support. Well, I didn't vote for him to drop those bombs. I didn't vote for him to obliterate those people in that country. I didn't vote for him to trash the dollar and steal the time and laboring energies of all these hardworking Americans. Yes, you did. In fact, you did. Because you participated in the game they wanted you to participate in. You allowed yourself to be hoodwinked again. You allowed them to deceive you, to pull the wool over your eyes. I understand why you want a Ron Paul, why you believe in a Thomas Massey, why you think that Marjorie Taylor Greene turned over a new leaf and she's a different person. But it's not true. And let me show you another layer of this psychological operation right here, because you've got Marjorie Taylor Greene rightly calling out the QAnon thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm throwing Ron Paul in it, too. I know I got Ron Paul, but I'm talking about Ron Paul, the old guy. I'm throwing him in. It's going to be like, what the fuck is this, geriatric hitman? That's going to make it even more funny. A whole bunch of old niggas blasting motherfuckers. That's the perfect fucking comic, man. I'm about to kill that shit when I work on it. And plus, at the end of the day, like I said, I think like around when it gets to my last resorts, I'm going into voice acting. I'm too motherfucking animated and motherfucking. I'm too animated and motherfucking silly to not do it. You feel me? I believe I have range as a bad guy, good guy, anti-hero. But I don't mind being a bad guy first because you already know how it is. I got that proper voice for it. You know, I don't gotta be on screen. Voice acting is pretty cool. Rather it's voice acting in TV shows, video games, it really don't matter. And plus my music could be a soundtrack to video games also. They're like, damn, this nigga do voice acting, music, art, literature, podcasting. Holy shit. You feel me? But yet they keep me shadow banned and suppressed.
As a psychological operation, which it was, and it behaves as a cult, which it does, which specialized in targeting people who are already dissatisfied with government. And it continues to steer them down the wrong direction as they continually believe in that government. See, what this QAnon psychological operation is that they're good people, the white hats. The white hats in the government are going to weed out the black hats, the bad people. So there are good guys in government who are silently, covertly working for us, and they will drain the swamp. Well, guess what? The swamp never got drained. It got filled with more virulent swamp creatures. So here is Marjorie Taylor Greene talking to Alex about how the QAnon psychological operation was a manipulation campaign to keep people in the hamster wheel of politics. There's this whole premise coming from the sort of QAnon movement, and that's like a whole can of worms. But there's an indication possibly that QAnon is just another example of Operation Trust, which is the Soviet sort of controlled opposition thing to get people who are against the system to support just another individual within the system. But this act, which is supporting the system itself, because if the entire system is corrupt, it doesn't matter how good you perceived the new guy to be, even if he was a good guy. Say the new guy is a true statesman, somebody who really cannot be bought off, is not bought off. This good guy just got you to participate and climb back down into the sewer and to participate with the corruption and evil that is politics, which demoralizes and corrupts everything it touches. The system cannot be rehabilitated. The system cannot be changed by 1 or 2 or 20 or 30 or 100 people within the system. That's like becoming a mafia crime boss to change the inner workings of the mafia. It's not going to work. They're not going to let you do it. They consume and they control all the power, and they issue the currency that basically, today makes the world go round. They own it all. Every card on the table belongs to them. And becoming another pawn on that table will do nothing except the vital thing, and that's to get all the people on board with participating in the monopoly game, which is quite the disturbing illusion. The idea that there are quote unquote white hats in the system working behind the scenes, and President Trump is one of the primary white hats that was able to infiltrate all the corruption and in order to bring about a new era of abundance and freedom by way of the American government.
Well, if I actually say that shit.
Your thoughts on all that?
I fell for that in late 2017 and 2018, and then
shit was like, I fell for that bullshit in 2017, 2018.
Q said the midterms were safe, and then the election happened, and Nancy Pelosi became Speaker of the House. So I quickly said, this is a bunch of bullshit, and I'm not going to believe it anymore. It is a psychological operation.
That's all it took for you to see that it was BS because Nancy Pelosi won a race?
Y'all should have been like, lock that bitch up for insider trading. But that's another story. Because I thought insider trading was illegal. But anyway.
That's what opened your eyes. That's what ripped the scale from your eyes so that you could see. It wasn't the fact that everywhere you looked in Congress, AIPAC had a stranglehold on the executive branch, the entire executive branch, the entire legislative branch, the entire judicial branch, the entire monetary system, Hollywood, banking, tech corporations. It wasn't that.
CIA?
All the big money donors that supported Trump's campaign. Did you look behind that veil? Couldn't that have convinced you? Isn't that more substantive?
And completely to pull in those that, like you said, are against.
Oh, she was? I didn't know that. Lock that bitch up too.
Someone they've never seen.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
No clue who is telling them these things, and they put their entire faith into it, and it's basically a cult.
That's what government is. Government is a cult.
And the corporation.
This government has their own priests.
The cult corporation.
It has their own Bible called the Constitution, which they trash on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. It has their own priests, the black-robed tyrants of the Supreme Court, who back in 1803, under Marbury versus Madison, granted themselves the power of judicial review. In other words, we will interpret the scriptures, our scriptures, the Constitution. Yeah, you may be able to read it, but we're going to tell you what it says, what it means, and how to apply it. It is a church. It demands your faith and your obedience, and if you don't obey, you will be excommunicated and heavily punished. Government is church. And if you have a new politician dressed in the priestly robe saying, "Come on into the church, we'll make it better," you know you're dealing with a charlatan. And I don't care what name you put on that guy. Ron Paul, Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Rand Paul, Ro Khanna. It doesn't matter. They're all playing for the same team owners. And there is something called controlled opposition. You got to have people within fact.
Exactly. This is something as controlled opposition. This shit gonna be crazy. Yep, you already know. This is why I gotta make 3 seasons of The Adventures of Ron Paul. You know what I'm saying? First season, he takes out Fauci. Second season, take out Bill Gates. Third season, gotta take out Ron Paul. You know what I'm saying? Because like, what's he done? He like, cool. He got all his money and shit. He about to motherfucking do some diabolical shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they all had their motherfucking secret personal agendas type shit. Or I should just do a one-off season. Just do a one-off season and take out Dr. Fauci. But got to get Bill Gates too. Fucking nigga. I'm doing 2 seasons. Because I got to show off my John Wick equalizer skills.
That disagree with other people in that same faction to make it look believable. That's the inner workings of the WWE. That's what makes World Wrestling Entertainment work.
Heels versus babyface.
And an antagonist, and that keeps people filling the stands and buying the popcorn and the drinks and the shirts and all the merch that you have to offer.
It really honestly is. It pulls them into cult-like thinking.
Ain't that a bitch? It's too early for this.
And believing complete and outright lies. What it does, it takes
a layer of truth shit. This is a pre-record.
And twist it into a lie, and it's just completely, it's not right. And I think most people are out of it.
I mean, I pre-recorded the video.
But some people still hang on to it. But Q was very successful.
I know a master was trading or not. Oh,
operations I've ever seen because it did use the layer of truth and the things that people were most passionate about, and was able to use that and twist their belief to pull their full faith and trust into an anonymous person or an anonymous entity.
And what's crazy is a motherfucker can rally up people that have gripes against the government and do some Q shit, some QAnon shit, but no one wants to rally with me or any other revolutionary against this government. That's crazy. So this is how you know this shit was all a psychological operation. Protesters are funded. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, they gotta have people that goes against the motherfuckers on the inside. It's like WWE. The heels versus the babyface. Or the good guys versus the bad guys. Protagonists versus antagonists. But the thing about it is the storylines of this WWE has been trash. fucking super trash.
Actually, the most popular, famous, and effective psychological operation I've ever seen is called left versus right paradigm politics, where they say the Republicans or the Democrats. You're either team red or you're team blue. And that is the perfect controlled opposition scenario to dupe people into demanding the chains of their own enslavement, because they are literally knowingly voting for what they call the lesser of two evils. And when you vote for the lesser of two evils, you are still knowingly, consciously, willingly voting for evil. And the most important thing for them is for you
Salute,
to
Jordan.
be demoralized, to be desensitized. No people can
What up,
totally
though?
surrender their liberties, nor can any be easily subdued.
I'm about to do one more video
Knowledge
after this, and then I'm gonna be
virtue is
outie.
preserved. On the contrary, when people are universally ignorant and debauched in their manners, they will sink under their own weight without the aid
Salute,
of
Jordan.
foreign invaders. And that is what they need you to get to. They need you to continue playing their game so that they can continue manipulating you through their psychological operation. And until you get morality, until you stand on virtue,
until you grab a fucking gun and say "Viva la Revolution" and start killing these evil motherfuckers,
allegedly,
we're going to keep on going through this.
Allegedly,
for real, we're gonna keep on going through it. We're gonna keep on going through it. Like until a motherfucker get up and say enough is enough. I'm about to get the fuck on. Shit gonna keep on happening. People are retarded. It's like shit has been going on forever, and people still doing the same shit. Man, fuck all that. Do you know the definition of insanity? In the words of Voss from Far Cry 3, do you know the definition of insanity?
You're steadfast on principle and refuse to accept any evil in the diet of your psychology. We cannot advance as a civilization, and we cannot get ourselves out of this mess. Let me know if you think I'm wrong about this. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I really want to hear what you have to say about this. If you want to support this channel, you can do it for free. But
now we can get off until Larry Fink is scared of us. You feel me? I couldn't do this shit earlier. It proves my point. You know what I'm saying? I got to motherfucker go live around Detroit after dark time. That's around 10:30 to like 12:30. But like real shit, between the hours of 11 and 4, they fuck with my live. And plus, I need to go try to motherfucker get this motherfucking savings account so I can be able to get the YouTube partnership, so I can be able to do super chats. And most motherfuckers be live between the hours of 11 and 4. You feel me? But I realized adapting to this bullshit that I'm going through, I'm good in the middle of the night, and I'm good around Detroit after dark time, and I'm good early in the morning. But between hours of 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., it just like they will not let me do shit. Sometimes they won't even let me in my YouTube. You can go on my community post. You can go on my community post and see the shit I posted. It's like, this motherfucking server has been timed out. It's like, damn. But everybody else can go live, but me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to put out the truth. So me adapting, to this motherfucker shit that I'm going through, I gotta motherfucker do this. But most motherfuckers ain't giving out super chats late at night. You know what I'm saying? But shouts out to Daniel Luna for hooking me up with a motherfucking Cash App, on the Detroit After Dark scene. So I was like, fuck it. If I get a Cash App during the Detroit After Dark, shit, I can get a super chat around Detroit After Dark too. And go live in the morning like whoever's up is up. And I gotta test everything out anyway. But we'll see how everything go. It's very rare, like I rate it by percentages. It's a higher percent, it's like a 90% chance for my live not to fuck up on the Detroit After Dark. High percent chance of my live not fucking up right now in the middle of the night. And it's a high percent chance of my live not fucking up when I do something early in the morning. But it seemed like between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m., it just like, fuck hurricane. But that's the time that motherfuckers be up. Motherfucker doing their thing. Like when I look at my analytics, it's like, like most motherfuckers get up around like 10 and shit. You like you know, around like 9 or 10, go all the way up into 6. So it's like that's the highest percentage of motherfuckers still be alive. You know, so I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's where the money at. Let's see if we can do this shit. Yeah, dog. They be hating. They be fucking hating. How the fuck am I gonna get the super chats if I can't motherfucking motherfucking do a motherfucking proper live without shit being fucked up? That it takes away the experience. Like if someone sent me a super chat and my live start fucking up, they gonna feel like they just wasted their fucking money. I don't want nobody to feel like that. You know what I'm saying? So let's get on to this next one. Hold on. What up, Dollar Nard? There you there? That's like asking like PSF for a shot of whiskey. It's gonna be a struggle, right? Salute, bro. But yeah, like once I get the savings account, I'm gonna find out what this YouTube shit is. So like, so I could be able to get the super chat shit. Then I gotta apply for a Venmo account. I'm gonna get a Venmo too. You know what I'm saying? Because I need a backup just in case my Cash App fuck up. So grab me a Venmo, grab me a savings account, try to get this motherfucking super chat shit going. Cause I know this channel is not going to get monetized. So like the least I could do is just, you know, receive a super chat over Cash App, you know, like use whatever I can use over here on this channel. But shouts out to everybody. We on to the last video and we up out of here. Larry Fink is scared of us.
Larry Fink. Now, if you don't know who Larry Fink is, he's Dr. Evil. He's the guy who runs the world. He's the head of BlackRock, and they're the people who own everything, right? And so the idea that communism is bad because you don't get any choice and there's one central place that makes everything, well, it's amazing how capitalism and communism ended up in the exact same place because you don't have, you get 40 different choices of cereal, but you have owners. So there's only 3 companies that own everything. It's BlackRock, it's State Street, and it's Vanguard. And they're the equity people, and he's one of them. And he's more powerful than president. Donald Trump, he's his boss. This guy, so that doesn't, by the way, that doesn't happen in China. China, the billionaire capitalists are not above the politicians. In America, the billionaire capitalists are above the politicians. In China, that doesn't happen. They have capitalism, but
they have mass immigration.
But they have, but the government is above them. And they put their billionaire. That's not. It's the exact opposite here. Okay, and
that's why they're our enemies, supposedly, because these billionaires can't believe.
That's right.
That the state could come down on a billionaire.
That's right. They can't believe it. But here he is, and he's going to tell you that they're building these AI data centers for surveillance, so they can, when you step out of line, so they're going to give you a UBI, right? So they're going to cut your jobs, right? So your jobs are gone. You go to college, you're going to be saddled with mountains of debt.
Get ready, more music on the way.
Afford a house.
But I find those to not get exhausted about creativity.
By an AI machine and an AI data center. And
that's
so
what's up.
That's the cherry. That's your, hey, you graduated college, no job. And so now what he's going to do, and they built all those ICE prisons. They didn't build them for immigrants. They built them for you if you now are ready to revolt, right? And so now he knows people are ready to revolt, especially against AI data centers. And he's afraid they're going to start bombing them. He's afraid people are going to start bombing AI data centers. Wouldn't
if
that be?
Don't, then he'll have someone do it, by the way.
Wouldn't that be horrible? Yeah, go ahead, Kurt.
What was it, the thing after New Orleans flood, the government group that was supposed to, everybody said was going to put you in
for sure, that's what's up.
This is the new FEMA.
ICE is the new FEMA.
Wow. I've been said all this shit. Now they finally caught up to our talking points. We've been saying these were the new FEMA camps. Homeless internment camps, FEMA camps. Yeah, we've been saying this. They finally caught up, y'all. They finally caught up. Let's keep going.
Let's listen to him.
Now, because of drone warfare, we have to relook at all forms of security and the need for rebuilding the GCC region.
So I got this off that Gravian website, and they insert their little commercial over this guy talking.
Good info from him.
I can see why this guy feels insecure. He can't even stop Gravian place message from interrupting him. Let's listen, Gravian.
But now, because of drone warfare, we have to relook at all forms of security and the need for multimedia marketplace, the GCC region, to rebuild it so that it could be in a position where it's not going to be obstructed by drone warfare. So many more things that have to be underground. But even here in the United States, if we're going to be building
multimedia marketplace,
how do we make sure we're not protecting those $50 billion, $75 billion investments? We have to look at everything because of the role of drone. Right now, we're looking at it internationally, but one of my concerns is going to be a domestic terrorism using a $3,000 drone. So all of these things are actually opportunities, not problems. It's going to require, as we said, trillions of dollars of capital. Governments cannot build these up alone. They don't have the
multimedia marketplace.
Their deficits are starting mounting, and we spend too little time talking about the U.S. deficits and other countries' deficits. So this is going to all be the role of private sector.
What kind of computer was off natural resources? Give me a break.
We also hang out with them.
Exactly, bro. Using your common sense, critical thinking, and comprehension skills. What type of kind of computer runs off of natural fucking resources? Dog. If that ain't the $1 billion fucking question, I don't know what the fuck is. It's probably some nigga in the underground chained up with wires and tubes and shit. Talk about some kill me. No, motherfucker, we need you to fund this data center. And they use all of this energy, plasma, and it's probably my dog. This is fucked up. Nigga, what if they got Gaia chained up and they just motherfucker draining her ass? We have to save the earth for real. Like, this is why Captain Planet exists. This is why the show Captain Planet exists. Gaia, the spirit of the earth. Train 5 young people. Earth, fire, wind, water, and heart. Go planet. What your powers combine. I am Captain motherfucking Planet. Captain Planet. The power is yours, motherfucker.
People are going to revolt. I have to remind people, I'm not encouraging people to do violence. I'm just reminding people
there you go.
Got you, Jimmy.
There you go, Jimmy. I knew it, Jimmy. I knew it. I'm not encouraging people to do violence, but
let's talk about violence.
People are about to be violent. We might as well just say revolution already, man. Just say it. I hate when they dance around it. Don't dance around the word revolution. Don't dance around it. Revolt, rebellion, insurrection. Y'all are scared. Stop being afraid to say revolution. But they about to pay trillions and trillions of dollars and trying to upgrade security. So here's how the game gonna go. They know life is fucked. Jobs fucked. AI just took your shit. You want a job? Here's a gun. Go police your neighborhood to make sure they don't come and blow up my data center. You already try to give, motherfucker. Niggas want to be a nice age. You getting $50K, son. You know what I'm saying? Now go police your people.
This country was founded on violence. The last time the ruling elite was this unresponsive to the citizens, George Washington picked up a gun and started shooting people.
Yeah, you could shut the whole thing down, just not participate. By the way, it's zero violence. That's everybody can all do that.
And now,
no, the fuck you can't. Because when Black Wall Street did they fucking thing, what happened? They got bombed, flooded out. We did the peace thing. Every time we had peace, guess what? They came through and they fucked it up. So you got to go ham. You got to be violent. You got to be. Against the government, yes. Because, shit. Against the government, against the police, against these evil corporations. It's time for the motherfucking politicians and billionaires to get the healthcare CEO treatment.
Allegedly.
The JFK treatment.
Allegedly.
I will say the Charlie Kirk, but I still don't even know if that shit was real or not. I still don't know if that shit was real or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm still leaning 60-40.
Chad the Bitter is the sacrifice Lord.
Could be fake. But
I'm hearing he going through some shit. He popping up on my timeline a lot.
Could have been, but there's too much talk.
But I never watched the video.
Still talking about
I know what he do though.
Head. I got a video of him motherfucking get shot in the fucking head. I'll never forget. Never forget what I saw. And never forget what I read when I looked up what the fuck a blood squib was. You look up a blood squib, you can put it on your body and it shows an impact of a gunshot wound and it gives off a little sound. You know what I'm saying? And it's used for theater and movies. If the world is a stage and these are the players and they're playing off a script, then yeah, man, we just watched somebody die in real fucking time, but it was a play.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They all actors.
Just to send the shockwave of fear and intimidation and panic through the crowd.
He knows that spirit is in America. It's an American spirit of freedom. Don't tread on me. Why we have the Second Amendment. He knows this, and he's afraid of it. And that's what that tells you right there. Oh, my God, people are going to start joining him. Thank God Trump put $80 billion, not into your life, giving you high-speed rail or healthcare you could afford, or schools or parks or anything nice that'll help you, or infrastructure. No, he built $80 billion into prisons.
Rage Bait.
Because he knows people are going to start revolting, just like that guy who actually is Trump's boss. He knows this. Here's what Tucker Carlson has to say about it.
Facts is on it.
But consider the concern. So if you're rolling out what they're telling you, and clearly they believe, is the single greatest technological change in the history of human life on this planet, it's the biggest thing that's ever happened, ever, then you think one of your main concerns would be, well, does this change the relationship of the powerless to the powerful, relationship of the citizen to the state, for example? One of your concerns would be, how do we do this and bring about the prosperity that it promises without totally eliminating human rights, making people slaves? Because we're against slavery, right? Aren't we against slavery? We were. How do we do that? But that doesn't seem to be Larry Fink's main concern. His main concern is, how do we protect our investment, this infrastructure, these buildings, these data centers? Someone could drone them. Someone could drone them.
Someone could drone them.
Now who? Foreign actors? Hezbollah? Hamas? No, just people. Larry Fink is concerned that ordinary American citizens, as he just said, will use $3,000 drones to destroy these billion-dollar
$3,000 drones. You hear that crazy shit?
Why would he be worried about that? We've had electricity for over 100 years. There are 11,000 power plants in the
United States. People don't bomb them.
Right.
And you want to see how people really feel about data centers?
Well, all of this is wrong. Then why won't they let people talk? Why won't they let people talk? This is not real information. And we sit here like it's okay. It's a charade. It's a charade. It's false.
Shame! Shame!
So he knows it's coming. He knows it's coming.
They all have known for as long as they've talked about it. The guy with the hair lip, Ben Goertzel, go look up his speeches. He talks about exactly what's going to happen. Lots of anger and violence. They plan for it. They have planned for it. The drone thing, though, that's like they want extra authority over the sky with that. That's all that means.
I'm not telling anybody they should bomb an AI center. That would be horrible. That would be crime. I'm saying that they think you're going to do that. In fact, they know you're going to do that, and they're preparing for it, which is why they created all those prisons in the big, beautiful bill, which is why they made it illegal for local governments to regulate AI data centers, and why they created an $80 billion prison industry and a new police force which is not there to get rid of illegal immigrants because they want illegal immigrants because they want cheap labor. That's not what this is about. Which is why they're
black people. It's for all of you.
It's not just for black people this time.
That was just to test it. Of course, they get tested on black people, but ultimately, the prisons are for you.
Prisons are for
I
you.
mean, you might be black, so that doesn't really make sense. But you see what I'm saying?
I like how Larry Fink said he's scared of foreign actors, and that's not just Javier Bardem.
I'm afraid of him.
Unfortunately, you can't shout shame at a sociopath. Because they were shouting shame at those people.
Get revenge on all of them.
You can't shout shame at a sociopath. It's the same thing as shouting at a cat when they piss on your rug.
Yeah.
There's no effect. And here's what they tell you if you don't want these. Here's the 3 commissioners who were corrupted by the tech bros, and they at the same meeting, and they were telling people to shut up. What?
For hell's sakes, grow up.
For hell's sakes, grow up, he says.
Yeah,
grow
that's
up
not an expression.
Take it.
Yeah, that is not a local expression. That is a Freudian slip. For hell's sake, grow up. That just bubbled right out of that guy.
Where? For the sake of hell. Be mature.
Hell on earth, where you live now.
For the hellscape that we've created in the United States. For that sake, be mature. And it should be the kind of mature that makes some lazy, insanely lucky corporate toady happy. That's the kind of maturity he's looking for. Hey, what happens if he says,
right, in Trump land, a stapler costs $3,000. A stapler, though.
I bet everybody would like to see that happen.
It's like when Bush said the Iraq, Russia, the illegal invasion of Iraq by mistake in that speech. Is
yes,
same thing.
Right. When he was talking about Ukraine
450.
And Putin invading Ukraine.
These 3 jerk-offs know what they're doing. They knew that people would be upset. That's why they get paid the big bucks to sit there and just like dispassionately try to take it, like customer service agents, until the AI can replace even them.
Where'd you send it, Steph?
To both of your emails.
Okay. All right. I got jokes about this. Believe me.
I got jokes. All right, cool. All right. That's the end of it. Now, I finally got this out. This is part 3. Part 1 is the music side. Part 2 is me trying to come back and they fucked my live up. That's like a 16-minute video. Now, I finally officially finished. I'm done. I already played music for the Detroit After Dark. And shouts out to everybody coming through. Shout out to Ladar and Judah. Shout out to Jordan. You already know what it is. Shout out to In the Groove. And everybody's going to watch this on a playback. Misha Bell's Hurricane, be thy name, fuck the government. Peace. We out.